Sure.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 6:45 PM. We will now do a roll call vote for attendance, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mr. Waterman,
Present.
Ms. Dolan,
Here.
Mr. Conti, Mr. Conti, Ms. Bennett,
Present.
Vice President Cobus,
Present.
Ms. Holmes, Ms. Holmes, Ms. Reynolds, Ms. Reynolds, Mr. Angelo,
Present.
Ms. DeSimone,
Here.
Mr. Blair,
Yeah.
President Delicio,
Present.
9 here, 2 absent.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice of special meeting, please?
Yes, sir.
3 absent, by the way.
May 19th, 2022, to the members of the Municipal Council from James Delicio, Council President. Councilors, by authority of Article 2, Section 2-7C of the Attleboro Home Rule Charter, I hereby call a special meeting of the Municipal Council as follows. Date, Tuesday, May 24th, 2022, time 6:45 PM. Place, City Council Chambers, amended on May 20th, 2022, to Zoom only. The purpose is to discuss any legal matters before the council. Sincerely, James Delicio, President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules, please.
Second.
Thank you. This will be a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair. Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Angelo,
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds, Ms. Holmes, Vice President Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Conti, Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
3 absent.
You forgot me, Madam Clerk.
Excuse me, Mr. President?
You forgot my vote.
Oh, excuse me. President Delicio,
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome. 8 yeas and 3 absent.
Thank you. So we are now operating under suspended rules. We will not have a mayor's communication tonight. We will not be doing committee reports, committee of the whole, old business or new business. As soon as we're done with this, the upcoming portions of the business, we will adjourn and go right into committee meetings. So we do have 2 pieces of business to bring in front of the council tonight. The first is to recognize Stephen Balerna II, who will be representing Attleboro in the upcoming Special Olympics. So is Stephen with us? Oh, I see Stephen. I think you muted, my friend.
Mute.
There we go.
It's up that top left.
That video.
Camera on. Camera off.
Oh, there
There
it
you
is.
go. Stephen, good evening.
He might have us muted. I don't know.
Yep, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Somebody.
Folks, can you hear us?
Houston, Texas.
All right, we'll give it another shot.
Where's the microphone on here?
No, we can hear you
I
just
don't know where the
fine.
microphone is.
No, I don't. I mean, I've used it before when, with the green up in the top there. Top left, up in the green.
Maybe they have their volume muted or turned down.
We can see. We can't see. Hello?
Mrs. Heller?
You can? You can?
We can hear you. I wonder if you're muted.
We can't hear you, though. We can't hear you. No.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we go to the second piece of business and then we can come back to Steve.
Nothing?
Okay, so we will now go on to a reading of the clerk's communication.
Thank you. Communication, May 24th, 2022. An application was received to waive section 11
Hey, hold on. We hear you now.
Point one
Yeah.
to serve
Yeah.
alcoholic beverages or
Okay, I'm
wine
gonna
on
hang up.
city property for
I
the
can hear
June
it too, though.
2022 Lights Out Extravaganza event at 100 Rathbun Willow Drive.
Thank you. That'll go to the License Committee. And Councilor Waterman, would you like to call for a public hearing on June 7th?
Yes, June 7th is fine.
Terrific. And Madam Clerk, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman, I believe.
Thank you. Mr. Waterman,
Yes,
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Conti, Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Vice President Cobus,
Doesn't matter.
Vice President Cobus,
Yes.
thank you. Ms. Holmes, Ms. Reynolds, Mr. Angelo,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
President Delicio,
Yes.
3 absent, 8 yeas.
Thank you very much. So Stephen, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
All right, awesome. So, hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is pretty awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about what you have going on in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah. Next month in June, I'll be going to Florida to represent Massachusetts. And I'm looking forward to doing the 50 freestyle, the 50 breaststroke, and in the 50 relay, and getting a gold medal just take home.
Wow, that's awesome. I couldn't think of anyone better to
Yeah.
represent Attleboro,
Yeah.
Massachusetts. Are you excited?
I am excited, yeah.
That's awesome. So is this your first trip to the Special Olympics or is this a return trip?
It's my first trip.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite event?
My favorite event is the breaststroke.
Nice. They say the breaststroke is the best stroke, so that's awesome.
Okay.
And how long have you been swimming?
I've been swimming for a long time.
Awesome. Well,
I think 5 years, yeah.
how many?
5 years, I said.
Oh, excellent. Well, Stephen, it's my pleasure on behalf of the Attleboro Municipal Council to present you with a certificate of merit presented to Stephen Balerna II for representing Attleboro and Massachusetts at the 2022 Special Olympics. Stephen will be traveling to Orlando to compete in June with other athletes and friends in the swimming events. Stephen has spent years of practice and dedication to be invited to the Special Olympics national event. His efforts, enthusiasm, and his competitive spirit are all an inspiration to us. The entire council wishes Stephen much success and good health in both the competition and in all of his endeavors. Signed and sealed on this 24th day of May in the year 2022 by myself, James Delisio, President of the Attleboro Municipal Council. So, Stephen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good
We
job,
are all so
Stephen.
proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Good luck.
I
Good luck.
have a favor for you.
Looking forward to representing Massachusetts. So,
Good
Awesome.
job.
So I have a favor to ask of you, my friend.
okay.
When you come back, can you come back in July in front of the council and let us know how you did?
Yeah.
All right, would love to see you in person so we can all give you a big high five.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck, Stephen.
Good luck, Stephen.
Thank you.
All
Go
right.
get him.
How about a here we go, Stephen chant? Come on, buddy. Here we go, Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go, Stephen.
I hear a dog barking.
Yeah.
He's cheering you on too.
Okay.
That's right.
Outstanding.
Like Councilor Dolan said, the dog's cheering you on too. So,
Okay. The dog. I heard the dog.
all right, very good. So Stephen, we do have a hard copy of the certificate of merit in our administrative assistant's office at City Hall. So it's right on the first floor, right when you walk in the door. So you or a family member or friend can swing by and pick that up at any time. But we're all going to be cheering for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good luck, Stephen.
Good
Go
luck.
get him.
Very much.
I'm so proud of you, pal.
Go get him.
Yep.
All right. With that being said, that is all the business we have in front of the Attleboro Municipal Council for this special meeting, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, and there will be a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
We're already done.
Okay.
Done so soon here.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair. So Councilor Blair,
Yes.
Councilor DeSimone,
Yes.
Councilor Angelo,
Yes.
Councilor Reynolds,
Yes.
Councilor Holmes, Vice President Cobus,
Yes.
Councilor Bennett.
Yeah.
Councilor Conti, Councilor Dolan,
Yes.
Councilor Waterman.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and we are adjourned at 6:56. We will start committee meetings right at 7 with Councilor Angelo, who will have 2 guests, and then Councilor Blair. See everyone in a few minutes. We're now recessed.
All right, I'd like to call Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee to order at this time. Members of this committee include myself, Ty Waterman, and Peter Blair. Tonight, we have 5 pieces of business, and we have 2 gentlemen coming up in front of the committee. First, I'd like to present Walter Vivar for Council on Human Rights. Walter, do we have you back? Do we have you up? I don't see him there. I thought he was there a minute ago. Oh, there he is. All right, Walter, you're muted.
Here you go.
Oh, there you are. All right, Walter. All right, tell us a little bit about yourself for the Council on Human Rights.
Sure. Was
Start with your
born-
address too as well.
Sure thing. I live on 7 Franklin Street. That's here in Attleboro. I've been here since 1980. I was born in Guatemala, and I migrated to the United States, like I said, in 1980. A little more about myself. I am into helping other folks in any way that I can. I've been involved with a lot of youth groups and also city and YMCA, also Cross Lights under Judy McCurdy. So I've been working with the community off and on for about 25 years, I'll say.
I can tell you, I've known Walter for maybe 30 years, Walter?
Yes.
Yeah, we've worked together. We've done, Walter has been a customer in it too, along with a great friend for many years. And there's not too many nicer people that I know in this world that I've met over the years. And I can't say enough good things about Walter. Any questions from anybody?
Well, Walter, this is Ty Waterman.
Hi, Todd.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I served on that committee for a year and a half before I was city councilor. It's a wonderful experience.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular around the issue of human rights that here in Attleboro or even beyond that concerns you? I'm just curious.
Sure. One of the biggest things is, as you can see my face, right, guys?
No, we can't.
No,
Oh, you cannot. I'm sorry.
not yet.
So I'm a Hispanic, as my name Vivar is from Spain and so forth. So I was born in Guatemala, and one of the biggest things that is a concern to me is the Hispanic community in Attleboro is it seems like it is invisible, and we have no representation in the council. We have very little support as far as government help in many instances. And so I feel as me being on a board like this will help mitigate some of the issues that might be, there were and might be coming up in the future with the Hispanic community. More or less, I want to be like, I should say, like a mediator in between people to try to make everyone's life a little bit better. So simply said, it's, I feel like we're invisible to Attleboro. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I really appreciate your coming on, and you will definitely add a perspective to the Council on Human Rights and to the entire city that we all will benefit from.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from anybody? Councilor Dolan.
Thank you. I just want to say congratulations, and I appreciate your willingness to serve. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any other questions? All right, that's it. Well, Walter, hey, I want to thank you a lot. We'll definitely catch up soon, and I appreciate you taking the time and willingness to help us out on the council.
Thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
Okay, pal.
Take care.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Next up, we have Kevin Duquette for the sealer of weights. Kevin, are you with us? I don't see Kevin. Oh, there's Kevin. Kevin, you're muted. Hey, Kevin, if you can hear us, all right,
Yep.
there you are. Kevin.
How's that? How
All right,
are you?
great, Kevin. So there you are. All right, Kevin. So Kevin is going to be contracted for doing the sealer of the weights. And if you tell us a little bit about give us your address, your name, address, and a little bit about yourself and what gives you qualified to do this.
Sure. So my name's Kevin Duquette. I live at 7 Green Drive in Attleboro. I've lived in Attleboro since 2002. And I have been working for city government since 2005. My main job is a sanitarian, a public health officer. And I do contracting work on the side. I picked up weights and measures in 2010 through the town of Foxborough. And I've been doing their weights and measures for, like I said, since 2010. I was certified through the state. And then I picked up Somerset in 2018. And now I have the opportunity to do Attleboro. So I've been doing it for quite some time now.
All right, that sounds great, Kevin. Anybody have any questions for Kevin Duquette?
Simple one. This is Ty Waterman. Kevin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm the vice chair of this committee. What do you enjoy the most about weights and measures?
So I think what I enjoy the most is that, I'm providing a service that not many people are aware of. People come and go and they make purchases, at a grocery store, or they buy something and they don't realize that the scale that weighed their product, could overcharge them or undercharge them, or, so I feel like I'm doing a service to not only the Attleboro residents, but also to the business owner, because they may also be on the other end of the loss. So I get a lot of it makes me feel good to provide the service and to be sort of a support person for the businesses. If it's a gas station or a grocery store, they'll get they'll get new meters, or they'll get a new scale, and I'll go out and check it for them. So it's a service that I think not many people are privy to, but it's a very important one.
I know the industry that I'm in, that's how they run. And it's a very frequent checking on the scales with the precious metals and all that stuff. And so I'm sure
Right.
you're going to be very busy going with a lot of the stores that we have in the city.
Yep. And because I live in the city, I feel like I have like an intimate relationship with it, where I know the locations. I'm a patron of some of these locations. So I think I'm going to, I'll develop a nice, good working relationship with everyone. And also the state sealer that was doing your work previous to me, I'm very good friends with him. So me and him, it's going to be a very smooth transition. He's going to work with me at the beginning, and he's going to introduce me to some of the people he's working with, and so it's going to work out really well.
All right, that's great.
So I just want to say thank you for your interest, and we'll benefit from your skills.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, any other questions? All right, seeing none. Well, hey, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, you take care. Have a good night.
You too. Good night.
Okay, from the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $5,166.72 from account 115210000 517120 personnel, HMO Blue to account 11521-000-578020 personnel, bills from previous years to pay an FY21 bill that was not charged to the personnel department due to a clerical error.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. This is basically is just obviously to correct what was erroneously done. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No.
All right, seeing none, we can vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. All right, motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the reappointment for the position and for the term as indicated. Rachel Legend, Council on Substance Abuse Prevention, term to expire 1 year, February 2023.
Second.
All right. Motion's in order. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right. I basically, Rachel is, we're lucky to have her back and looking forward to having another year with her. All right. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. For the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appoint Walter Vivar, 7 Franklin Street, Attleboro, to fill an expired term on the Council on Human Rights. Term to expire February 2025.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. Any questions, comments? We just heard from Walter.
I think he'll be a great addition to the
Yeah.
council and for the city.
I've known Walter forever. He is an incredible human being, super nice. He's done a lot for kids. I know he's coached soccer a lot and other sports. He's just a very likable, caring human being. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. On the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $500 from account 11241-000-578-350 citywide reserve for labor negotiations to account 12401-000-515-030 building inspection sick pay incentive to pay one employee in the Laborers Association eligible for sick pay incentive with the most recent contract.
Second.
Thank you. All right, motion's in order. I mean, it's basically it's contractual. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. For the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to confirm the appointment of Kevin Duquette, 7 Green Street, Attleboro, as sealer of weights and measures for a term of 3 years.
Second.
Second.
All right. Thank you. Motion's in order. Any questions, comments? We just heard from Kevin.
We'll do fine with Kevin.
I agree. I agree. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That concludes the business of the Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee. I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7:13.
And Peter, you're up.
Reporting for public safety, emergency management. I have 3 motions this evening to bring forward. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $2,900 from account 1210100-511-000 police salary and wages to account 12101-000-5731010 police dues for funds to the police department to obtain Massachusetts police accreditation. Actually transfer $30,000 from account 1210100-511-000 police salary and wages to account 1210100-530101 police professional services.
Second.
I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Something we have to do. Any questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $10,400 from account 1210100-511-000 police salary and wages to account 121-000-530101 police professional services for funds to purchase cameras to install at 4 locations where illegal dumping has become a problem.
Second.
This is an ongoing problem at these locations. And other than putting a police officer there, you know, continuously at night, early mornings or whatnot, these cameras should eliminate a lot. And maybe we prosecute some of those offenders. Any comments, questions?
Do we have a list of those locations handy?
I don't, you know, I talked to Kyle. I didn't actually ask him where they were. Maybe we don't want to tell anybody where they were.
It might be a more effective deterrent if people knew.
Yeah. Diana.
Hi, so the cameras are used for illegal dumping only?
As far as I know, yes, they're going to be put at these locations. Not saying they can't be moved.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Let me see, from the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $27,500 from account 12101-511-000 police salary and wages to account 12101-000-558310 police uniforms due to a modification to the police union contract.
Second.
This is contractual. This is something that was changed and they need added money to take care of uniform changes to the uniforms. Any comments, questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I have no other business this evening to bring forward. Move to adjourn at 7:16.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Councilor Waterman?
Yes. I would like to call the License Committee to order at 7:19. And we have one item of business this evening from the docket of June 7th, 2022. I would entertain a motion to approve the application to waive section 11-15.1, which is serving alcoholic beverages or wine on city property.
Point of order, Council Waterman. We just called for the public hearing tonight on
June 7th.
on June 7th. So we just called for that during the clerk's communication.
Right. So we're going to wait on that.
Yep.
So we will not have that motion this evening. And that is all the business that we're going to have. So I would call for an adjournment.
Council Waterman,
Yes?
can I ask just do we have any updates on that car dealership?
None, except that I have placed another call with the AG's office in Boston, and I have not received a response. and I'm waiting on that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should maybe discuss some other options instead of waiting now that we're 6 months into the year. But maybe that's something we can discuss with President Delicio at some point.
I think that's a very good idea. We do have 3 complaints that we have received. And that's what we have to operate with.
At least call them in before the council at a bare minimum, I would think.
All right.
Council Waterman and I will discuss with the city solicitor, Council Dolan, to come up with the most prudent plan of attack at this point.
Thank you.
No, that was my question. So thank you. We will discuss that. Is there any other business before the committee before I call for adjournment? I will call for a second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. That concludes the business of the License Committee. We'll meet at the next appropriate time.
I'd like to call Public Works Committee to order at 7:21. I have 12 motions this evening. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $4,000 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-513003 wastewater enterprise fund dig safe callback overtime due to increased calls.
Second.
Thank you. So it's exactly what it says. Apparently they do 300 dig safe calls a month, which is plentiful. And when it's an emergency, they have 3 hours to do it. So they have no choice but to send someone out, and it's usually after hours. So that's that. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $4,000 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-513022 wastewater enterprise fund callback overtime due to increased emergency callbacks.
Second.
Thank you. And so this is, since we have such an aging infrastructure, they seem to apparently get a lot of calls for maintenance issues, and that's what this is for. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $3,500 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-548010 wastewater enterprise fund gasoline due to the increased gas prices.
Second.
Thank you. Kind of speaks for itself. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $24,000 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-513000 wastewater enterprise fund overtime due to the shortage of qualified operators.
Second.
Thank you. So this is pretty self-explanatory as well. They're very short-handed, and they unfortunately don't have anybody available. So there's been a lot of overtime. There have been some people out with illnesses and such, and apparently nobody wants to work in wastewater as much anymore as they used to. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $10,000 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-521020 wastewater enterprise fund lights and power to pay electric bills for the remainder of fiscal year 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Again, there's been rising costs in electric as far as aging infrastructure. The pumps have to work harder, everything's working harder, and it's using more electricity. Does anybody have any questions on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $1,000 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-534010 wastewater enterprise fund telephone to pay telephone bills for the remainder of fiscal year 2022.
Second.
Thank you. And self-explanatory, you need to pay the phone bill. Any questions?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I'm almost there. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $6,000 from account 6000-35900 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-521010 water enterprise fund heating to pay the heating bills for the remainder of fiscal year 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Self-explanatory, we had a colder, wetter winter. Does anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $35,000 from account 6000-35900 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-517-220 wastewater enterprise fund workers' compensation insurance.
Second.
Thank you. Two guys out on workers' comp. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $18,000 from account 6000-35900 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to fund 3231, a Noxic mixer to repair 2 mixers in the denitrification system.
Second.
Thank you. What they're doing is they can't get the part in soon enough, so they're rebuilding them because that'll happen quicker. Does anybody have any questions on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I entertain a motion to transfer $1,500 from account 1630100-512020 recreational seasonal to account 1630100-521020 recreation license power to pay electric bills for the remainder of fiscal year 2022.
Second.
Thank you. And this is just Dennis taken from one count to put in another to pay the lights and power. Does anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion that $571,169 of authorized unissued debt from the June 3rd, 2003 authorization of $30,260,000 be rescinded as the wastewater treatment plant project is completed and no further debt should be issued from this authorization.
Second.
Thank you. So obviously this is a long time ago. This is basically we just have a line of credit of $571,000 and we just want to get it off the books because we're not using it, nor will we be issuing anything on it. Does anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $1,000 from account 1000-35900 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 1292100-521020 animal control lights and power to pay the electric bills for the remainder of fiscal year 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Speaks for itself. Need to pay the lights and power. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And that's all I have. I'd like to call for an adjournment at 7:30, please.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7:30. Thank you.
So I'd like to call the finance meeting to order at 7:30. Sitting on this committee are Councilor Cobus and Councilor Reynolds. I have many items to bring before you this evening. The first from the docket of June 7th, 2022. We have the budget in front of us, and I'm going to try to share my screen to show you what our schedule is for budget hearings. It's changed considerably, and this is what it's currently looking like. I'm hoping you can all see this. Somebody give me some affirmation that you can actually see this.
We can see it,
Thank you.
Councilor Conti.
Excellent. Wonderful. So starting on Wednesday, May 25th, we're starting with the mayor and Jeremy, the budget administrator, going into personnel, health, auditor, MIS veterans, municipal council, office. Then on Thursday, the 26th, the following day, this is all Zoom only, by the way. Police 5 to 5:30, DPW. Wastewater may not be that night, but we have a special meeting of the council starting at 7 o'clock. And frankly, I think the police and DPW will probably take from 5 to 7. If not, we'll have a little recess until the special meeting of the council takes place. On Wednesday, we've got the water coming in at 5 o'clock, education, planning and elections. And on Thursday, June 2nd, library, treasurer, recreation, forestry, collector, assessor, and fire. The compression of the time this year, and I'll stop sharing my screen, with the very tight deadlines of the time that the budget came down and the time that we have to approve the budget to get the budget done for the next fiscal year, has mandated that we compress this schedule greatly, and I apologize for the pain and torment that I've put our assistant Vinnie Stewart through, as well as myself, for trying to get all these people coordinated at the same time. It's frustrating. There's a lot of things that have to come together, but we'll get there, God willing. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $959,157.04 of available free cash from account 11000-5359000 general fund undesignated fund balance to account 1000-321200 general fund balance reserves for expenditure. This appropriation is to reduce the fiscal year 2003 levy.
Second.
Did I hear a second, Councilor Cobus?
Yes, second.
Thank you. So we're going to hear a lot about this on Wednesday, the 25th, because Jeremy, the budget director, budget administration director, is putting together a PowerPoint show because there's confusion in this budget of the income not matching the expenditures and there being a $960,000 difference. And part of this transfer, $959,157 to be precise, is that difference between the income that we're receiving from all sources and the expenditures that are in the budget that is before you. So this is the third year in a row that this has occurred. And for now, this is necessary to balance the budget. And that concludes my comments. Does anyone have anything, comments or observations? Or Councilor Cobus, you have the floor.
Is there a reason we're voting this out tonight? Is there time pressure to vote this out tonight as opposed to waiting until after we've heard from Jeremy? I was a little surprised to hear you voting this out tonight.
It's a good question because we could cut $960,000 out of the budget and make this motion absolutely unnecessary. So if you want to withhold your second, I'll take it off the floor.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is we just need to approve this before, as part of approving the budget, correct?
Correct. Before
So there
the
isn't
budget
a
goes
rush
into
to do
effect.
it this week.
We don't have to
next
do it
week.
this week.
Okay, I would prefer to hear from Jeremy and then vote it out.
So that means
later.
you're withdrawing your second?
I will, but let's, I believe President Delicio, so
Okay.
if you want to recognize him, I'd like to hear what he
You
had
can
to
have the
say.
floor at any time you wish, Councilor Cobus. Councilor Delicio.
Thank you, Council Concha. First of all, I appreciate the work you're putting in for the scheduling. I know how difficult it can be. I appreciate your flexibility, especially
Yeah, you
for
do.
Thursday. So I know. So first of all, thank you. I just want to make sure that, should we even be, probably shouldn't be voting any of this stuff out before the public hearing to begin with. That would be my recommendation. I know in years past, we usually don't.
Public hearings on the budget. And this motion is to appropriate it to reduce the levy. That's not necessarily a budget decision, but I can understand. And I think Councilor Cobus is going to withdraw a second, so it's going to become a moot point.
Okay, well done. Thank you.
Okay. Any other? I withdraw my second.
Thank you. So we can vote on the revolving funds, however, because they are separate and apart from the budget. So from the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the expenditure limits for the following revolving accounts outlined under Chapter 20 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro for fiscal year 2023. Fund 2601, police replacement of vehicles, $280,000. Fund 2602, off-street parking, $250,000. Fund 2603, protective inspection services, $250,000. Fund 2604, residential special waste disposal, $1,500,000. Fund 2606, council on aging, $20,000. Fund 2607, Cape Run Park Zoo, $1.5 million. Fund 2609, fire alarm system testing, $40,000. Fund 2610, fire ambulances, $1,300,000. Fund 2611, health immunization, $10,000. Fund 2614, recreation, $200,000. And Fund 2615, animal welfare, $6,000. Fund 2616, police false alarm, $50,000. Fund 2618, animal shelter building, $20,000. And Fund 2619, fingerprinting, $5,000.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. So this is, these are the limits that we have set in the past. There are no new revolving funds this year. And I'll entertain any comments, questions, or comments. Seeing none, the motion's in order. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. From the, let's see, you probably want to hold off on the solid waste fee.
Yes, please.
You want to hold off on the solid, so we'll hold this one. Hold this one. We'll hold off on the water and wastewater enterprise budgets.
Mhm.
We'll hold off on approving the water fee until we approve the budget. That makes sense.
Mhm.
We'll hold off on transferring the enterprise fund retained earnings to the water budget until we approve the budget or have a public hearing on it anyway. Same with the wastewater fee. Boy, this committee is going fast. Wastewater betterment share of debt. We're going to hold off for that with the budget. And the wastewater enterprise budget will hold off on. And the enterprise fund on the indirect costs. I think this one we can vote out. The indirect costs, let's give it a shot. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $724,193.32 from Fund 6100 Water Enterprise Fund to the General Government Fund to fund the indirect costs for fiscal year 2023. The dollar amount presented is from a fiscal year 2023 budget book Please note this figure excludes OPEB contribution and all debt expenses.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. So, for the members of the public who may not know, this is a fund that we hired a consultant to review about every 3 to 5 years. And the consultant interviews all the people in the management and the enterprise system. And the consultant tries to figure out how much time is being spent in the administration for the enterprise expenses, water and wastewater. And then there's a transfer in funds over to the administration to repay them for the work that they're doing on behalf of the water and the wastewater departments. That number has been a giant number in the distant past. The percentage of the budget has been steadily reduced in the last 10 years, and it's now down below, I think, 13% of the total budget. And we are now in the 3rd year of the last consultant review of the indirect costs. So we're coming up on the time when in the next 1 or 2 years, we're probably going to want to retain a new consultant and have a new study done. Also in the past, to be completely forthcoming, is that there have been a lot of people in the city that have complained that this is double taxation. But under Massachusetts general law, it is not double taxation. Massachusetts general law allows the repayment to the administration for work done for any enterprise. And that'll conclude my comments. I'll open it up for any questions, comments, or conclusions. Councilor Reynolds.
Well, as you may know or not know, some of you, that I always think this is highly overinflated. So even though we somehow end up having to do it, I welcome the time that we have a new one, and I suggest that we get somebody that won't overinflate.
So I would expect you to be lobbying for a new study done next year.
Yeah.
But it's not in the budget yet. And because it's steadily, every time we've looked at it, it's gone down. I suspected it would go down again, but that's only my anticipation. So Councilor Reynolds, is that comment place you in support or in opposition, or neither opposition nor support for this measure?
Really neither nor. I mean, I'll probably say yes to it because it's not going to change at this moment in time. My hope is that, as always, that there's a better way to make sure that the time, no one keeps track of their time. There are not real hours, they're just estimated, and that is a problem. That's the end of my comments. I'll get myself all heated.
We don't want to heat you up.
No.
Any other comments? Seeing none, the motion's in order. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. So then we go on to, let's see, yes, from the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $654,875.81 from Fund 6000 Wastewater Enterprise Fund to the General Government Fund to provide funding for the indirect cost for fiscal year 2023 budget. The dollar amount presented is from the fiscal year 2023 budget book. The required transfer also excludes OPEB contribution, that's other post-employment benefit contributions, and the enterprises associated with debt.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. So this is ditto for the wastewater department. Any other comments? Yes, Councilor Reynolds.
The comments are ditto as well.
There you go, as I would expect. So any other comments from the councilors? Seeing none, motion's in order. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes unanimously. The next item, the mayor has requested the municipal council to provide his office with recommendations to be considered in the senior center feasibility study. I've taken advantage of this. The draft copy of the request qualifications for design services is in your packet. And the work that I've done with Jeremy has changed the scope of work. So because the mayor has asked for municipal council input, that means this is a rare opportunity for any councilors to put their 2 cents into the request for proposals. So I would recommend, if you have any comments that you would like to include, that you get in touch with Jeremy, the Budget and Administration Director, and you ask him to edit the document to your liking. This is a rare opportunity. Typically, there is a wall between the municipal council and administration. That wall has been taken down for this particular feasibility study only. And I hope that you will all take advantage of that rare opportunity. Moving on, I entertain a motion from the docket of.
Point of order,
yes,
Councilor, or just a question regarding the last 2 items that we just voted on, the indirect costs. If we vote to change the budget later on as part of approving the budget, does that have an impact on the amount of the indirect costs?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I just want to make sure that that's.
The indirect costs is calculated by a specific number of hours that particular departments have stated that they contribute to the wastewater and water departments on an annual basis times their hourly rate. And so that number is a hard number based on salaries, not based on budget.
That's right. And it's the fees that changed, the wastewater and water fees.
We didn't
change
held
it.
those. We didn't.
Right. No.
those.
And I'm just thinking what changes when the budget and items get cut and all that. So I know there's a huge trickle down effect, or a cascading effect of changes when things get cut. So
it's important to remember that all the animals have to be kept in their own cages, and you can't put the wrong animals in the wrong cages or else they'll eat each other. In this case, the animals in the cages are set regardless of what the budget is, because it is not budget related. These monies, these animals in these cages are separate from the budget.
They're static. Got it.
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to double check that before we moved on. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad that you wanted to make it clear.
Councilor Conti?
Yes, Councilor DeSimone.
Thank you. And forgive me. So it just so happens that I have the budget message open and I'm looking at page 2, where Jeremy explains the enterprise fund indirect costs. And he says, and maybe I'm wrong on my interpretation, the enterprise funds are assessed a percentage charge on their operating budgets to compensate the general fund for services provided. So I think Councilor Kobus's question was on point then, that if we change the budget, their operating budget, the enterprise funds amount could change. No, Councilor Reynolds is telling me I'm wrong. Thank you, Councilor Conti.
Councilor Reynolds, you have the floor.
So what I want to say to this, and this is, again, this brings back my issue. This is department heads saying, let me just make a make-up believe one. Let's say the administrative office, the mayor's office says that they give 40 hours a week, every week, to wastewater or water department. Then they are charged. That charge comes from whoever in the administration spends that 40 hours helping out the water or wastewater in citywide things. It would be the same to say the city clerk is working with them, or the collector is working with them, or the DPW is working with them. They take that hours, multiply it by whatever that person is getting. And this is where this fund comes to. The problem is that when this is checked out by a firm that comes in, no one has their real hours written down. There is no proof of that hour time, which I have been complaining about for years. I would love that department heads have to have it written down, that they know what they are doing and what they used another department for. Because to me, it has been overinflated for years and years. And I just can't seem to get, yes, we bring somebody in, but what difference does it make if you bring a firm in and the department heads are just throwing, oh, I'm not sure, put down 100 hours. Put down this hours. No, but no one can tell you what the hours were for or what they were used for. And that is a problem to me.
Counselor Reynolds, you're done. I'll recognize Council Delicio. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chairperson Conti. So here's what my suggestion would be. You have Jeremy and Paul coming down tomorrow night to discuss the budget. I would suggest it's already voted out of committee. It's out there. You can discuss it tomorrow night and get the true answer. And then if it's to your liking, your committee's liking, you can vote it out on Thursday, or even during your committee tomorrow night, you can rescind the vote and wait if need be. But I think Jeremy would be the appropriate person to speak with on this, just to get the clarifying answer.
Anyone else? Council DeSimone, are you all set?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm reading Jeremy's entry in the budget book, but I'd certainly be interested to hear his answer in person. So yes, thank you, Council Conti.
Councilor Bennett, you have the floor.
Thank you, Councilor Conti. I just wanted to clarify and sort of add on to what President Delicio said here. I think my big question is whether this is measured by a percentage of the budget by these departments, or whether this is a cost share that's not really based on any beneficial or causal basis to be incurring these costs. So I would also really like an opportunity to ask that question to Jeremy and to find out how this is being measured.
Well, I can answer your question tonight, but I'll let Jeremy answer it tomorrow because he's a higher authority. How's that?
Thank you.
Anyone else? Fine, let's move on. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $3,500 from account 112410000-578360 citywide reserve compensation for the 53rd week to account 16101-000-51100 library salaries to fund the 53rd payroll week.
Second.
Thank you, Counselor. So this is this year. We don't have to worry about next year's budget approval. This is to pay people on the last week of this fiscal year. Is there any comments, questions, or conclusions? Seeing none, the motion's in order. Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. From the docket of May 17th, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $636,000 from Fund 3567 body cameras to account 1100210-584062 Police Department Continuing Appropriation Body Cameras to properly account for the purchase of body worn cameras, in-car video system, and necessary associated computer software and technical components for the system operation included the cloud-based components for 3 years. The original vote from February 15, 2022 had the wrong account.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. This is simple housekeeping. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. From the docket of May 17, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $35,000 from account 100035900 undesignated fund balance, free cash general government to account 154310000-587065 Veteran Services Purchase Vehicle for the Veterans Transportation Program.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. We tried to bring this out last week, 2 weeks ago. But Councilor Cobus, you had a question about parking, and I'm going to give you the floor so you can tell us that's been resolved.
Yes, that has been resolved. There are 2 vehicles coming off the books, and I have 0 issues.
Okay, very good. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, the motion's in order. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. On the next item, from the docket of April 19, 2022, there's nothing in the charter or regulations that say that we should have a public hearing for this pavilion. So I'm going to bring the motion out for a vote tonight. I entertain a motion to appropriate $750,000 from account -359000, undesignated fund balance free cash general government to fund 3572 Highland Park Pavilion to build a performing arts pavilion at Highland Park.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. So I want to read a letter I received into the record. Addressed to the Attleboro Municipal Council, Attleboro City Hall, 77 Park Street, Attleboro, Mass. 02703, delivered via electronic mail to council@cityofattleboro.us. My name is David Rianoni, and I am writing today as the Executive Director of Tribal Youth Theater, a not-for-profit youth performing arts organization operating in the city of Attleboro for the past 26 years. I want to express my sincere opposition to Mayor Haru's proposal to allocate $750,000 in surplus funds to build an outdoor pavilion on the Highland Park property. While the mayor's primary intent to improve the cultural and artistic opportunities is an admirable goal, this proposal is not the way to achieve it, especially while the Union Theater sits vacant and unused right in the center of the city's downtown TDI district. The reality of living in the New England means that the weather is unpredictable at best, which would render an outdoor performance venue unusable for a large majority of the year. Our organization's schedule is set 12 to 18 months in advance, locking in the families of our participants, staff, contractors, vendors, and equipment rental. If a performance were to be canceled because of weather-related issues, it would be nearly impossible to reschedule due to the many stakeholders and factors involved. Mayor Haru wants to model a Highland Park Pavilion on the well-known Hatch Memorial Shell on the Charles River Esplanade in Boston. While I do not know whether the mayor has visited the venue, is simply not a shell with a stage. There is a significant amount of supporting infrastructure at the venue to make it usable by anyone looking to rent it from Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, whether it be a small dance company or the world-class Boston Pops. For a hatch shell-like venue to be visible and attractive for use by performing arts organizations, the following items, aside from weather-related issues, would need to be addressed and included in any plan. Process and procedures for booking, free schedules, gaining access, event permitting, insurance, equipment rentals, food and concessions, merchandise, etc. Public safety, police and fire details, oversight and venue management. Also, facility access for trucks and renter parking. Also, backstage green rooms for renter use. Also, restrooms, facilities for renters and public use. Also, access control for ticketing and security. Also, handicapped accessible seating and access to stage, restrooms and parking. Also, electrical service for rented lighting and sound equipment. And finally, safety lighting for evening events in the seating area, parking lot, and backstage. Additionally, as the April 11th editorial in the Sun Chronicle states, enough funds must be kept aside for repairs, maintenance, upgrade, and future additions. In my opinion, as someone who's worked in the live performing arts field for the last 20 plus years, I strongly urge the council to vote no on the mayor's proposal. If the Mayor Haru is genuinely interested in supporting local performing arts organization, he should allocate those funds to the Attleboro Cultural Council or other grant-making organizations that can help organizations like mine recover from the devastating losses incurred due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, David A. Rianoni, Executive Director, Tribal Youth Theater, 52 Union Street, Attleboro, Massachusetts. I showed this letter to the mayor in my last meeting with him, and he stated that it was his opinion that most of these items were in the plan for the pavilion, with the exception of restroom facilities for renters and public use. It was his plan to use porta-johns for the facility. We discussed whether or not that pavilion thus would be a complete pavilion, whether or not it should have a concession stand so organizations using the stand could make some money on the side with concessions, and that bathrooms be available rather than porta-johns because it would be a permanent pavilion structure. And he said that would increase the cost. So the pavilion is being built with the majority of these features that David Rianoni is speaking of, but not with all of them. And so I'll open it up for discussion. Councilor DeSimone.
Thank you, Councilor Conti. So my concern is this. Number one, I happen to think that we should call a public hearing because there's been a lot of public chatter. I also think, in due fairness, in light of the fact that you just read a letter from a resident in opposition, which is in fact a hearing from the public, that we are now obligated to hold a public hearing to hear from others who may have a different opinion. So I was going to ask it anyway, but I strongly suggest we do it now because you just entertained a public opinion on an issue for which you didn't have a public hearing. So I suggest respectfully that we do that. And I also think it's in the best interest of the council and the city to hold a public hearing on this matter because there's been a lot of talk on it, however we feel about it. I think the public should be heard. Thank you for letting me speak.
Councilor Dolan.
I was going to say the same exact thing. If we're not going to have public hearing, I don't know why we would read letters from the public in. So I think something of this magnitude, and as Councilor DeSimone said, there has been a lot of chatter. So I think that we should be able to hear from the public on a cost such as this, something that would be for the entire city. Thank you.
Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. I agree with what was just stated, but also we really haven't even given the administration an opportunity to come down and tell us what the plan is. And I really when that does happen, I'm going to formally apologize to the administration because we've been discussing this and thinking that there's not a plan. And I think that we're really misspeaking here. So I think allowing the administration to come down and share with what's happening would be like the first step of that public hearing, and then allowing the public to kind of also add input. So that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Well, perhaps I should have explained why I thought a public hearing would not be necessary. And that is that we've just gone through a protracted period of time with the council feasibility study. And it looked like the same storm was brewing on this issue with the pavilion. And I thought it best to put it through the committee and put it up to the council as quick as possible. Because I don't want people thinking that the finance committee is a stalwart clogging up the government of the municipality of Attleboro. So I do think that there is absolutely no justification for a public hearing other than the fact the mayor wants one. And as a finance chair, I see that that's not necessary. That Tribal Youth Theater letter is the only letter that I received, and everybody in the city of Attleboro is welcome to send a letter to the council at any time. Additional comments, Councilor Blair. You're muted.
Muted.
Peter.
Sorry, muted. I always push that mute button, Richard. I agree with these councilors that just spoke. When you're going to spend $750,000, and I don't think we've vented this proposal enough, then a public hearing, I think it's justified. Maybe you don't have to, but I think it's justified so the people of Attleboro have an option to speak either for and against before we vote it. And $750,000, a lot of money, Richard. We're short money for the budget as it is. So if we got 750,000, it seems to me you could circumvent that and get it into the budget.
Are you done, Peter?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me, Richard.
Could I see your hands, Councilor Cobus?
Yes, thank you, Councilor Conti. I struggle with this one because I would really like to see this in the city, but I do not feel it's prudent to spend this money before we have a good plan for the Council on Aging, and that's where I struggle. Where like I would love to see this in the city. So, and I agree that maybe a public hearing would be valuable to get the input from the administration and from the public. And from my perspective, I wouldn't block this in committee. I would vote yes today to vote this out, but I'm a hard no vote right now because I don't think we should spend this money before we know what's going on with the Council on Aging. So by calling for a public hearing, delaying this, hearing the details, vetting the plan out more, I think that's a good idea because it gives this a little bit more of a chance in my mind. And so that concludes my comments. I'd like to have the public hearing.
So that means you're withdrawing your second.
We can continue the conversation and I can withdraw the second if we want to, but I'll wait until we're ready for that because we haven't discussed it in a while.
Well, the reason why you seconded, I believe, Councilor Cobus, is so that we could have this discussion.
100%,
So
yes.
I still see some hands up. Let's finish the conversation. Councilor Dolan, you have the floor.
Just to reiterate, Council Holmes, I think at the bare minimum, we could have the administration down to at least give us an overview of what exactly this is all about. I mean, we haven't even done that. I mean, I think at the bare minimum, we should know the plans before we
Councilor
vote
Dolan,
yes
you're
or
aware
no.
that the mayor can come down to any council meeting and present at the committee of the whole, correct?
I am aware of that, yes.
And you're aware that the mayor does not watch the council meetings.
That, well, I'm not aware of that, but I just think as, the department, excuse me, the committee chair, that you could, invite them so that way we
So
would
you
all
would
have.
agree, that the mayor has had plenty of opportunities to appear in front of the council to talk about the pavilion.
Okay, so
And
I'm
any
not,
committee of
I'm
the
not
whole.
trying to argue the point. I'm just saying, I think it would be beneficial to the council to have more details. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
Councilor Reynolds, you had your hand up.
I just think that it's early. I don't know why we have to do it yet when we haven't even decided on the Council on Aging. I don't know why this has to be done before this budget, why we can't bring it out after the budget if we're going to do something. I just don't think it's timely, and I'm not in favor of it because I don't know enough about it. I read that same letter myself. I don't think it was inappropriate for Councilor Conti to read it, because a lot of times when letters come in, we read them in front of the council, pro or con, or both pro and con. So, I don't think that's a problem. Anybody could have written it. We could have read 10 letters if we wanted to, or asked everybody if they had read it. So, the bottom line to me is I think at this moment in time, $750,000 is a lot of money when we know it's not going to include bathrooms, and it's not going to include a concession stand. So I think let's get one thing done that we haven't been able to do yet, which is the Council on Aging, and then take this up at a later date. That's my own opinion.
Councilor Bennett, you have the floor.
Thank you, Councilor Conti. I agree with my fellow councilors here. I think we don't have enough information right now, and I certainly wouldn't be comfortable moving forward supporting something like this at this time. The way I'm perceiving this is we can either do this now or we can do this right. And I lean toward wanting to do this right. I think Mr. Ranoni's letter tonight highlights that we may not have all the information. We don't have all the input. In particular, we don't have the right input from the people who will be using these facilities. And I think that's a reason why we should have a public hearing. We should open this up to get more of that feedback, and as well as hear from the mayor. I would love to hear from the mayor as to the plan. I haven't seen the plan aside from just a sketch. So I would very much support a public hearing on this matter.
You sound like you want another feasibility study.
I can tell you that
that was meant to
I
be
wouldn't be
humor,
opposed.
Councilor Bennett. That was meant as humor. So is there anyone else that wishes to, Councilor Waterman?
Yes, thank you. I have nothing new to add, except to say that I agree that we have not heard enough from the administration on this subject. I know I haven't. I haven't heard the details of how you set it all up. And so until the mayor comes down to us, I don't feel like I could personally support that. And I also agree with Councilor Cobus that if I was to pick between two priorities, if that's what we had, a choice, I would like to resolve the Council on Aging before I resolve this issue. And I conclude what I say.
Councilor Delizio.
Thank you, Councilor Conti. Thank you for entertaining the conversation first and foremost. Secondly, the mayor sent down the budget last week. Is there a plan in the budget to fund any portion of the budget with free cash in order to balance it?
Yes, 957,600. Wait a minute, 957,000.
That's fine. I kind of knew the answer.
$157.04.
And we're looking at 750,000 coming out of free cash for a pavilion, which I think it's a great idea. I like the idea of the pavilion. I've been on stage here locally in Attleboro, 4 or 5 plays. I support the fine arts. I'm not supporting the timing. And I understand that if we don't do it now and we look at it 6, 12, 24 months down the road, we do run the risk of the cost being higher, but maybe it also gives us a plan where we can come up with a fee schedule, where we can come up with projected revenues that can help offset this, look at naming rights, look at different fundraising as we've done in the past with similar projects. I'm looking at the Lee's Pond Pavilion. I'm looking at the concession stand. So I just, in good conscience right now, knowing what the finances are, we're using $200,000 more to fund and balance the budget. That tells me that the $750,000 could be better served somewhere else in the budget.
So, as a chairman of the Finance Committee, I am pleased that I made the decision to bypass the public hearing tonight to entertain the conversation among my fellow councilors, because I appreciate each and every one of your opinions. And I thank you all for participating, because that makes this a better process. So as it stands, we have a motion on the floor. I recognize Councilor Cobus, you have the floor.
Councilor Conti, thank you for entertaining the conversation. Well done. And I rescind my second.
Your second is withdrawn. Thank you so much. Democracy is a wonderful thing. And we've got the best system in the world. And I'm editorializing while I flip the pages and find my next motion. Here it is from the docket of February 15, 2022. I entertain a motion to appropriate $150,000 from account 1-000-359000 undesignated fund balance, free cash general government, to fund 3568 feasibility new senior center.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. Motion's in order, and I entertain a motion to alter the motion from $150,000 to $125,000.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. So the motion on the floor is to reduce the amount from $150,000 to $125,000. And my comments are that this is with the blessing of the administration, that in the mayor's memo to the council, giving the council input into the request for proposal, they also stated that they would be willing to reduce the cost from $150,000 to $125,000. And I can't be shy in taking advantage of any opportunity to save a little money. That concludes my comments. Are there any other comments on the reduction of the funding from $150,000 to $125,000? Seeing none, the motion's in order. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the motion passes, and the motion now reads, I entertain a motion to appropriate $125,000 from account undesignated fund balance free cash general government to the feasibility study new senior center.
Second.
I am going to ask if there's any questions, comments, or observations. Seeing yes, Council Delcio.
Rick, I just want to reiterate again, I appreciate the hard work that you've put in on this, the input that you've taken from your fellow councilors, from department heads. I know it's been a long, arduous process, and I think you've handled it the right way. I'm glad to see this being voted out now, because I think it's something that we need to really get a jump on. I do appreciate the administration being willing to drop it from 150 to 125. I appreciate the administration being willing and able to take in our input, where I think a lot, once we looked at that RFQ, a lot of our questions, I know a lot of mine, if not all of them, were satisfied. So certainly want to thank you for the way that you led this. Your steadfast leadership on this was, it was impressive, because it would have been easy for you to vote it out when you weren't able to vote it out.
Thank you, Councilor Delcio. The most important achievement in this process has been to get the administration to allow councilors to have input on the request for proposals. This will shape the way the feasibility study is executed in a manner that meets my committee members' concerns from the beginning of this process. And as a chairman of a committee, I think it's important that the committee chairman listen to its committee members. And I do, and I always have, and I always will. So if you ever have the misfortune to serve on Councilor Conti's committees, you've got the opportunity to change the future, because I'm going to listen to you. That concludes my comments. Does anyone else have anything else to say? Councilor DeSimone.
Thank you, Council Conti. I reiterate what President Delicio said. I appreciate the administration's sharing the RFP with us and requesting comment. I looked it over and I too feel a lot better, particularly because they're not only entertaining new construction, but remodeling an existing municipal owned building, which I think is important. I was also happy to see that they're going to do a needs assessment for, based upon the present use. The only thing I was wondering about, and maybe this is to be assumed, but they didn't specifically address parking. But I would imagine that's the building that's included in the footprint of the potential building, because I just don't want to revisit the issue we have. And I would suggest that going forward, that we not only think about a building, but we need to think, I think, more as a municipality about collaborations and partnerships and redundancy of resources. We have a recreation department and facilities. We have a parks department and facilities. Can we not, and I spoke to the director, Melissa, about this, collaborate more on using those resources, giving seniors special times in a public pool, giving seniors, exercise in the park, things like this, that I think might, it's not always about space. Sometimes it's about creativity. And I'm asking and hoping that we all can perhaps be more creative and resourceful moving forward. So thank you for the time.
Councilor Reynolds, you have the floor.
So I just want to jump on what Councilor DeSimone has just said, because I'm right in line with her. And I hope she gives a shout out to Jeremy and gives that information to him as well.
Thank you for saying that, because he listened to what our concerns were. And when we pointed out that the Zoo Stabilization Fund RFP was a model, he took it on his own to draft the RFP for the feasibility study. And, that's work that is not becoming of a counselor. It's not work that should be done by the council. It's work that should be done by the administration. Carol Brown did an excellent job on the zoo RFP. I'm stunned at her ability to pull everything together. And I'm pleased with what Jeremy did on the RFP for the senior feasibility study. My edits were very small, limited only to the scope of work. And that's important, because the scope of work drives the project. So I concur with you that Jeremy was a major contributor in getting this across the threshold. Any other comments? Seeing none, motion's in order. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. That concludes the business that the Finance Committee has to bring before the committee this evening. We have a lot of work ahead of us. I spent the weekend reading the budget. What a wonderful weekend it was. An air-conditioned office and a thick 3-ring binder. And I hope that at some point you will do the same. I'll entertain a motion to end the committee meeting.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. Motion's in order. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I declare the Finance Committee adjourned at 8:18. Thank you for your participation, everybody.
Good evening. I call the Transportation and Traffic Committee to order at 8:18. Finance is a hard act to follow, so I'm going to keep it brief tonight. Just a couple of administrative notes. We had 3 public hearings that were originally scheduled for May 17th. They are now all rescheduled for June 7th. The first is regarding the speed humps for May Street and Rock Lawn. The second motion, I'm sorry, that's also related to the speed humps. Those 2 have been rescheduled to the 7th. We also have the motion, we have the public hearing for the ordinance changes involving parking on Rathrum Willard Drive from Thatcher Street to Rome Boulevard. That has also been rescheduled to June 7th. And the only other item to note this evening, and I've shared with Virginia to share out to the rest of the committee, is that we did receive some input from the Traffic Study Commission on the proposed ordinance change regarding removal and modification of permanent speed humps. So that information will be forthcoming, and I'd love to discuss that and hear your thoughts at the next committee meeting. Are there any comments or questions or other issues that anyone wants to raise this evening? Yes, Councilor DeSimone.
Thank you, Councilor Bennett. On the note of removal, I had forwarded to Virginia to ask to send to you and Councilor Dolan. I had heard from the administration about the proposed removal ordinance, and I have a revision that I believe you should have received.
Yes, I believe I have.
Okay,
Yes.
so
I will see if we can get that added
okay
to the agenda as well.
Because I think that may address some of the concerns that were raised by the Traffic Study Commission. And I believe it also satisfies the police chief, the fire chief, and Department of Public Works and the mayor. So I think we're good to go. So when you get a chance, we could talk about that the next meeting, maybe.
Perfect. Thank you. Absolutely. Any other questions or comments for this evening? Okay, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:20.
Thank you. And I call the IT and Infrastructure Committee to order at 8:20. We have two items on the docket, or two items to discuss tonight. First one, from the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the expenditure pertaining to the anticipated receipt of public safety answering point support and incentive grant of approximately $165,733 for fiscal year 23 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, excuse me, EOPSS State 911 Department, and approve any further grant amendments.
Second.
Thank you. Sorry, all of a sudden. So this is a grant we get every year and encourage you to approve it. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Second item, from the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $4,800 from account 1000-359000, undesignated fund balance, free cash, general government, to account 11331-000-530101, budget and administration professional services for funding a munis assessment.
Second.
Motion's in order. This is for an assessment prior to a munis upgrade at the end of fiscal year 23. And this is as part of upgrading to the new system, just evaluating how we use munis within the city. And yeah, and seeing if there's additional opportunities there for us to improve efficiencies. Councilor Conti.
So my understanding is that Munis is undergoing a big upgrade, and that basically the system is going from what you would think of like DOS to graphical user interface. Forgive me for being a techno-weenie wannabe. And that when you go from one major software package database that controls the entire city finances to an upgrade like this, it's almost like changing vendors. Have I got that right so far?
That's correct.
So this money is being used to pay an outside consultant to take a scan of what's out there in the current Munis system and kind of give us a heads up on what's going to be needed to be changed for the new system. Is that what this is for?
So I think you're mixing two items. So as part of, no, of course, as part of the upgrade, there's a process to test all of the functionality. So there's a migration to a test database, and all the functions within the city will be tested and evaluated to make sure people can still perform their jobs and do all the things that they used to be able to do with the old DOS non-graphical version, let's say. So that is a process that's happening regardless of this $4,800. The $4,800 is to do an assessment of the new features in that software and to look to see if there are additional opportunities within the city for improvements above and beyond what we're currently using the software for. Does that make sense?
So that makes sense, because I thought this was an awful small amount of money for such a big undertaking. And I was worried that maybe there's something coming up like the second foot dropping. After we spend the 48 and finally we realize we have to spend 400,000, but that's not the case.
Anything can happen. There's always unexpected, but right now that's not the case.
But you've got my support.
All right. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That concludes the business for IT and infrastructure. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:25. Thank you.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning and Land Use Committee to order at 8:25. I have one motion this evening and an update. From the docket of December 21st, 2021, I entertain a motion to approve the request to amendments, Chapter 17-9.0 Special Permits and Chapter 15 Site Plan Review of Zoning Ordinance as follows.
Second.
Thank you. So I met with Stephanie earlier today, and she had mentioned that this was an attempt to formalize when people need to update a site review. They kind of were trying to pull it together, but at times didn't have a formalized plan of how people could amend any sort of application. So this is just kind of formalizing that plan more. And then they also added section 10K, which talks about the waivers, which if there's a minor or a major project that they can potentially apply for. So this is again to just kind of formalize the plan a little bit. Council Reynolds?
Would this, if we were to pass this, does this all of a sudden affect anybody that already has business pending or working through certain things in the city? Will this force them to go back and start over?
I do not believe so, but I can ask the plan.
I would like to know that,
but I do not think it will.
Yeah, I would really like to know for sure that people don't have to then go back and start over under all these new or updated conditions.
Okay, I will follow up with that.
Thank you.
Councilor Conti?
So, Councilor, on this measure, we do have to call for a public hearing, correct? Have we already called for a public hearing?
So we had a public hearing in February and then a second one that was in March.
Okay, so that's all set. And we've read the full measure into the record.
I have not, but I can waive, the council is allowed to waive readings.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
We can waive, I've waived the reading. We are allowed to do that.
Because it was read when we called for the public hearing?
It probably was at that point.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments? President Delacio?
Thank you, Council Holmes. Just going along with what Council Conti said, I think it might, I'd like to find out for sure. I think we do need to read it into the record. That can be either tonight, we could, call for a committee meeting between now and June 7th and then vote in front of the full council on June 7th. But I certainly think we need to read it into the record.
Okay.
We can waive the reading once it's been read in committee and into the record. And then at the full meeting, we could waive the reading so we're not reading it twice.
Okay, I'll follow up to confirm.
Yeah, we can connect tomorrow if you'd like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other comments? So I will get that question that Council Reynolds asked, and then we can follow up from there. And calling for a vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. I wanted to give an update on the accessory dwelling units. So the planning board is helping kind of write something that they're drafting. Sorry, it's so noisy outside. I don't know if you can hear that. they're drafting something that can be presented to us, and I want to wait for that before we call for a public hearing. So again, this would be to formalize in-law apartments in the city and to help with that process. So we're waiting for them to kind of present something, have the city solicitor review it, call for the public hearing, and start that process. It's a pretty big undertaking. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an update on that, because I know it was first in early January, it was first introduced to us. So that's just kind of what the holdup is with that. And that's all I have for this evening. So I will call for an adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:30. Thank you.
I'd like to call the City Property and Claims Committee to order at 8:30. My committee members are myself, Councilor Angelo, and Councilor Waterman. From the docket of June 7th, 2022, I entertain a motion to declare the following planning department equipment as surplus and available for disposition. It's an HP Color Laser Jet Pro M452DW. It's in very poor condition.
Second.
Thank you. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but does anyone have any concerns or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. This is a longer one. From the docket of May 17th, 2022, I entertain a motion to declare the following Council on Aging office equipment and furniture surplus and available for disposition. I have 7 HP printers. They are all in no longer working condition. The model number of the first one is Office Jet 4650 with the number TH7C94H105. The second one is an Office Jet Pro 6968, number TH88M2NOBC. Third one, Office Jet Pro 8100, number SNCN-SC41V236. Number 4, an NV 5660, number TH5196880T7. Number 5, a Scanjet 5590 with the number MY24RSR02T. Number 6, a Desk Jet 6940 MY6CB9R2CO. And the last one is an Office Jet Pro 6978, number TH86J1P2KN1FPU. And then I have one scanner. It's a Brother scanner, a DS700D with the number V630099C25103 480. It's no longer working. I have a Dell computer, Optiplex 5060 computer. The model number is D11504. It's no longer working. City of Attleboro 01773. I have a monitor, an Acer V193W with the number 846047144440. It's no longer working. I have 5 keyboards. They're Dell's, and one is a Noteworthy. The Noteworthy is an R5158TW, number 322-11470. All of these are no longer working, by the way. A Dell computer 0J4624724AN-00ML. The third one is a DPNOG4DW with another number CN-OG4D-2W-8BB-04AZ-A01. Next one is a DP-N0G4DW, a number CN0G4D-2W-8 M6D00-8BB-04AZ-A01. And the last one is an SK-8115, number CN 0D J331-71616-8BE-1FJW. Again, all of these are no longer working. I have 4 electronic accessories. The first one is an assorted cables, wires, 3-inch floppies. They're not matched, nor are they working. The next one is a Zebra Tech battery pack. Its number is 20305GCG, also no longer working, manufactured in 2005. The next one is a Zebra Tech battery pack. It is a Q-420, no longer working, manufactured in 2005. And the fourth one is an HP Scan Jet frame in poor condition. I have 1 monitor stand. It's a Dell MD S14 poor condition X2, a computer mouse, Dell poor condition X2. 1 DVD drive, iOmega DVD RW18X-L PN 31658800, no longer working. 1 printer stand in poor condition. I have 1 electronic projector accessory. It's a Dell 2300 MP, miscellaneous power cord and cables. 1 phone, Avaya 4610 SW1P. Also an additional number P-0079591, no longer working. I have 8 pieces of furniture. They're all in poor condition. The first one is a 6-foot folding table. It's white. The second one is a desk chair, blue upholstered swivel chairs. The next one is a book/magazine shelf. It's 3-shelf wooden rack. The next piece of furniture is a bulletin board, a large one. The next one is a medium program bulletin board. Next, a wooden top, 2 metal side drawers desk. Next, a folding rolling table. Next one is a 4-foot spinning magazine rack. And then I have 1 wooden printer stand with a shelf. And the final one is a square wooden table in poor condition.
Second.
Thank you. And I think that is pretty self-explanatory, but does anyone have any questions or concerns?
No.
Hearing none, that all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. From the docket of May 17th, 2022, I entertain a motion to declare the following treasurer's office chairs as surplus and available for disposition. 2 office chairs, they're still in working condition. Their value is about $80.
Second.
Okay, again, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. They're in fair shape, but they're ready to make the move to surplus. So any other questions or concerns?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that motion passes. So that is all the business the City Property and Claims Committee has this evening. I would like to call for an adjournment.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:38.
All right, I call Ordinance, Elections, and Legislative Matters Committee to order at 8:38. With me this evening are Councilors Bennett and Councilor Holmes. Welcome. Okay, so I'll get to the point. A couple of items to hopefully vote out and a couple of things to discuss. So I'm just going to take them in order, going down the docket here. From the docket of June 7, 2022, I entertain a motion to transfer $50 from account 116210000 to 511000 elections, salaries and wages to account 1162100-542010 elections, office supplies for an office chair.
Second.
Thank you. Pretty self-explanatory. If you want a little more information, you'll recall that early in March, we voted on a request to buy a chair. By the time the purchase was attempted, the price of the chair had increased by $50, thus the request. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. From the docket of June 7, 2022, I entertain a motion regarding the National Endowment for the Arts Award to the city for the Big Read program for approximately $19,000 and approve expenditure of such funds and any other further grant amendments received by the library.
Second.
Thank you. That was Councilor Bennett. Thank you. So I reached out to the library director, Amy Reilinger, about this. Pretty straightforward. She can't say too much until June 15th. There's an embargo on the information until the title of the book is released. But I think you all are familiar with the great work that the library does, particularly in regard to the Big Read. The good news is the program is growing. She says they have more partnerships with some new organizations in addition to the organizations that they usually partner with, and that the length of the programming is going to stretch out from 8 weeks to 8 months to really give the community a time to participate in many different activities. So that's kind of interesting. So it's pretty exciting. They do a great job. Enough said. Any questions, comments, concerns about the library? Awesome. Let's vote, ladies. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved unanimously. Okay. In regard to the next item, the Municipal Building Commission proposed ordinance, I sent a revised version a couple of weeks ago. You should have, I hope you have, what I'm referring to as version 3. Did you both get that? All right. It's not in the minutes, so I guess I had hoped to read it in, but I think in fairness to our colleagues, I won't read it until it's actually in print in the committee minutes so we can go forward. But I would like to call, if I may, at this time, a public hearing on the proposed amendment. And I believe that hearing is on the 21st. President Delicio, can I do that in the committee meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then I formally inform you all that the public hearing for this matter, which should be the revised version 3 that you have, will be held on June 21st, so we can discuss.
Second.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I had to move for a public hearing. Thank you, Council Holmes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. All right, moving right along. Okay, the NIP ban is next week, so we won't talk about that. Last item on my agenda for the evening is in regard to the item, the mayoral vacancy in the proposed ordinance amendment, which I believe yes, I did read into the record previously. So I'm going to make a motion on this, and then I'm going to propose an amendment. From the docket of March 9th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the following ordinance. Add the following to section, add the following section to chapter 2 of the revised ordinances, an ordinance provision for the vacancy in the office of mayor.
Second.
Second, thank you. So I did read this previously. I hope you recall. There is one change I'd like to make, and I will get this change out in writing if you all agree. In paragraph 2, 2 small i's, it says, the sentence says, commencing on the date said vacancy occurs, the president of the municipal council, or in the event of the president's disability, the vice president. I would like to strike disability and add language, strike that. I'd like to strike the phrase that starts in the event of the president's disability. Strike that phrase and replace with in the event the president is unable or unwilling to serve. So I guess I need to make a motion or entertain can I move to make that amendment? Or do I need a council member, a committee member to make that amendment?
I think it's more than a friendly amendment, so I would suggest getting getting a second.
Okay. Ladies, may I have a second?
Could you just read it?
Yeah,
it would
I'm
read?
kind of lost too, like, because I'm on it right now. Do you mind?
Okay.
Thank you.
So do you want me to read it as it stands or as the proposed amendment?
As proposed.
Okay. So paragraph 2, commencing on the date said vacancy occurs, the president of the municipal council, or in the event the president is unable or unwilling to serve, the vice president shall become acting mayor and serve in that capacity until a new mayor is elected as provided by section 9-5 of the charter and sworn into office.
Second.
Thank you. It's just to be a little more encompassing than just disabled. If for some other reason that comes up, unable, unwilling, unable would accompany disabled. So it's a little broader language, I guess. Comments, questions, concerns? All right, then I guess we can now,
Councilor,
yes, I'm sorry, President Lucio.
Have we had a public hearing on this where we're creating an ordinance?
I believe we did, didn't we?
On
I
the
know-
ordinance? I know we had it on what the mayor sent down, and we can check tomorrow, but I can't remember having a public hearing on the ordinance.
And now that you mention it, President Lucio, I don't think we
Yeah.
have.
Oh.
On the ordinance itself.
All right, I don't remember the timetable of when this came down. All right, you may be right, then I will withdraw the motion and make a motion for a public hearing, and I apologize for the error. So then I withdraw my motion. Do I need someone to withdraw the second?
Withdraw second.
Okay, so I'm now going to move for a public hearing. President Delicio, do you have a date?
Let's say, without looking at the book, I'd say probably we could do it on the 21st of June.
Okay, 6/21.
Pull the
All right.
Band-Aid off, close up all the business before we head into the summer break.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. Thank you for catching that. From the docket of March 9th, 2022, I entertain a motion to have a public hearing on June 21st in regard to the proposed ordinance amendment to section 2-1.1 concerning the vacancy in the office of mayor.
Second.
Second, thank you, Council Holmes. Any comments, questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll have a public hearing on the 17th, and on the 21st, rather, we can continue the discussion and the possible change to the language thereafter. All right, that's all I have for this evening. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:46.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Bennett. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.
The special committee on tax abatement review is canceled tonight.
That's all she wrote, friends. Just a reminder, we will be meeting to vote on all this stuff on Thursday at 7. Council Conti starts his budget hearings tomorrow at 5. Thank you. We got a lot done tonight. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.